Hello, I'm Infinite Crow and welcome to episode 4 of this Create Astral series. Between episodes I've done a lot of AFKing. I've changed our tree farm that was planting rubber over to spruce, although I see it looks like it's got broken, but it's fine, we've got enough spruce, I'll fix that later. I'm gathering a lot of clay because our new build for a factory has a lot of brick. Our start base has been good, but we've run out of room, so I've planned a new factory that takes up all this space. If I open the map, you can see the size. That's our original starting base, and this is the plan for the new factory. Currently, it's planned out there'll be 2 floors, and I hope that'll be enough space. Now, you might be wondering why these andesite are floating in the air rather than building it actually on the grass. And that's because I'm going to be running the rotational power under the floor for a lot of the machines. It gets in the way if you try to run power between machines sort of on the factory floor. So I'm going to run those under the floor and then just have the machines on the floor. That should make more sense when we come to actually finish building it. Now I've got these marked out, and the original plan was to actually just build the factory, use a replay to show me building it. But then I remembered this is Create, so there is an easier way to do this. I've got an inventory full of stuff, which hopefully should be enough. So the first thing I'm going to do is create a load of chests, as we're going to need quite a bit of storage for this. And I'm going to use the schematic cannon. Now I'm hoping I've got everything for this. So we just need a dispenser, that's pretty easy. 2 blocks of iron, that makes that pretty expensive. We're also going to need the schematic table, but that comes for later. And we're also going to need an empty schematic, which is just light blue paper, light blue dye and paper. I think we've got 2 sheets of paper. And we've got some bone meal in here. So if I use lapis, I get blue dye, bone meal gives me white dye. Combine, I get 2 light blue dye. I can turn that into 2 schematics. Now we only need 1, so I'm just going to put the other away. We're also going to need a book actually, so let me grab some leather. And I'm going to need 3 paper on there, so. I'm just going to run into the middle of this area that I want to build and place the cannon down. I'm then going to place the chests, and they need a side touching the cannon, so that should be plenty of storage for the cannon. I'm going to put the schematic table down, but there's nothing we can do because we've got no schematic saved. So I'm going to switch over to my creative world and quickly show how this is done. So here we are in my creative world where I've just planned out a lot of my builds. You can see the plan for our starter base. Some plans for trains and for tree farms. But this is the factory build that I want to go with. I've planned out 2 walls so far, but that's enough. We can use the schematic cannon to build all 4 walls, but we actually need to make a schematic. So the way to do this is if we open up REI, I'm going to enable cheat mode as I'm in my creative world, and we want a schematic. If we grab a schematic and quill, if you look on the ground, we get this blue square, and we need to build a box that has all our building in. So I'm going to start in this corner and right click and then just move the box all the way over. And then select this corner. Now you can see we've missed the stairs out on the bottom. So looking at a side, hold control and you can just scroll your mouse to make the box bigger. And I think that's everything. Is now included in the box. Let me just check this side. Yep, we're good. So now just right click in the air and we can name the schematic as we want. Click save and you can see it's saved as schematicsfactory.nbt. We then go back to our survival world. We can go to our schematic table, put our empty schematic in. Now we've only got one schematic saved, which is our factory. But if you've got multiple, you can scroll through. So I'm going to click the tick. This will write the schematic that we saved to that blank one. And it'll take a few seconds. And there we go, we have a schematic. You can see it gives you some summary. But if we come back into the world, you can see we've got this giant box, which is the schematic. So I'm just going to right click. And that will give us a ghost image of the factory. Now we've got lots of options on the bottom of the screen, which is move XZ. So we need to move this into the right place. Now I've got these andesite foundations, so that's where I want it to be. So at the moment it's too low, so if I hold Alt and scroll, I can change it to move Y. And then hold Control and move it up. I can then hold Alt and go back to this to move XZ and move it. That's too many. There we go. Now I just need to move it this way. And that way. Oh, actually, I mean, we're only building 2 walls at the moment. So I'd quite like to build this front. So I'm actually going to go with mirror. And then if we scroll to rotate. And it's not put it in the same place, okay? So we need to go back to move XZ. And I think that's the right place. Yep, that looks like the right place. We're just getting flickering because those blocks are already there. That's good. We can then come over to the cannon and right click on the cannon and put the schematic in. Now I've brought the book, so if I click a book in up to here, it will create a checklist. If I open the book, it will tell us everything we need to build the blueprint, which needs to go in these chests. So I'm going to gather that off camera and come back once I've got it all. So we're back and I've gathered all the resources. Surprisingly, actually all fitted in one chest. Now we can check that we've got everything. If we go back to the cannon and put the book in again, it will write the list. We can open it and you can see it's ticked off everything that's in the chest. So that's everything. The only thing missing is grass, which we don't care about. A sheep. There was obviously a sheep in the creative world and 2 torches. Again, don't care about that. So we're good. I'm going to go in the cannon though, and on show printer settings, I'm going to change this to skip missing blocks. That means when it gets to the grass, the sheep and the torches, they're not in the chest, so it'll just ignore them. And I'm going to change this to don't replace solid blocks. By default it will replace them, but I'm going to change it to don't replace, as it's already got the andesite pillars mapped out, so that's good. All we need now is to put some gunpowder in the cannon and press play. And straight away it goes off firing. And you can see the blocks getting flung through the air. And it's placing them into the world. So I think we just need to go and watch that get built as a quick time lapse. And I'll come back after that's done. So the cannon's just finishing off the very top of the build. So we haven't got many blocks to go. But this is going to be the entrance, which the spruce tree farm is in the way and it's broken anyway. It seems to be a bug with Create that leaving the area, or when you leave and reload a world, that the rotating contraptions can get stuck. So I'm just going to tear this tree farm down. We've got more than enough spruce. And obviously we've got our oak over here, which we can use for a lot of the wood. The spruce was just for this build, which, as it turns out, didn't really use too much of it anyway. So I don't think it's the biggest deal in the world to get rid of this tree farm. But I'm going to tear this tree farm down, and I'm going to put the floor in, which will actually be spruce planks. And at this level, so once the cannon's finished, I can put the floor in. So I think the best thing is, rather than get you to watch me place thousands of blocks for a spruce floor, because I didn't build that into the schematic, I will do that and be back with you in a second, where we can crack on with actually building some machines in here. So the two walls of our factory have now been built, and I've torn down our spruce tree farm. I've just put some temporary steps up for now. I need to decide on an entrance way that goes here, and need to do some terraforming of just probably dirt, but I don't have any dirt, so this will do for now. The first machine I want to build in here is probably actually some of the machines out of there, but I'm not going to. The first one I'm going to build is, if we look at our quests and go to chapter 1, something I missed out of here, which was this Get Rail quest, which is to create powdered obsidian, which we get powdered obsidian by milling obsidian. So we need to make an obsidian generator. Now that will output powdered obsidian, and there's a 25% chance of just outputting obsidian. And if we look at the next one, the sturdy sheet, is if we take that powdered obsidian and press it. Now it says 2 times, like press and press, but you've got to do that 5 times, so it's got to go around 10 times. It's got to be pressed. And there's a 60% chance of making a sturdy sheet, and a 40% chance of random salvage. In my testing, that random salvage is always gravel. So from our obsidian generator, we'll know we'll get powdered obsidian blocks, and we can press that into sturdy sheet and gravel. But before we get any of that, we're going to need some form of power, so I'm just going to build another windmill that's out here. So let's clear some grass. I'm actually going to build it in... Let's have a look. I'd like to run it underground, but I think that's a bit close. So let's get rid of this block. Unlike before, we're going to put a bearing there, a windmill bearing on the top, a block, and all our windmills on the edge. Now I want to go for a full 64. So unlike the one we built originally, which I did in 4x4, so I'm going to build this one just 16 straight up, which means I need to get up here. Thankfully, scaffolding makes this really easy. And I realise I've not been counting. Let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 11, 12, 13, 14, 16, 16. Oh, apparently we can't do that. There we go. 16. I don't think we can place on the back of these. Oh, we can. That makes things nice and easy. That's in the wrong place. How have I got 33 left? One, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. Oh, that's one block shorter. That's not that obvious when you're up here. Yep. Then down the scaffolding, and I just need to do it on the other two sides. Grab all our scaffolding. Strings are not the easiest thing to get. I mean, it's just milling wool, but you only get one string, so it's not the quickest thing to get hold of. And then, so you need to go this way. One more there, and one more there. With that up and running, it's going to be rotating pretty slow. Now I know some builds we'll be adding in here will include mixers which have to run at a minimum of 32 RPM. So I think I'm going to base everything off a base speed of 32 RPM. Once we get brass, we can speed that up or slow it down as necessary for individual machines. But to make sure we're running fast enough, I'm going to make a speedometer, which is just a casing and a compass. Which, unless the recipe change, compass is iron and redstone, isn't it? Yep, 4 iron, 1 redstone. 4 iron and a casing, which we don't have, but I've got 1 andesite alloy left, so that'll do. Strip that, click that, there we are. Make the compass, and make the casing. I hope you can see it without the goggles, but it's probably worth actually making the goggles while I'm here. To use 2 glass, rubber, and a gold sheet. So give me a piece of gold. Just drop that on there. 2 sand. Gonna waste some coal doing that, but and 1 piece of rubber. Goggles, pair of glasses. Oh, it does show. But it tells you impact, stress impact. It gives you a lot more, basically, a lot more information with regards to create. So if we just create those, and they handily go in their own little slot. So if I now look at these machines, you can, without the goggles on, it's just a gearbox. But with it on, I can see the stress impact of those blocks and how much fluid's in the container. So it's quite useful having those goggles. But the speedometer is what we want for this. dirt for now. So it's currently outputting at 8 RPM. So we know if we go big cog, small cog, that will be 16. So we need to go double it twice. If I grab my shaft, go big cog, small cog, shaft. It cuts through the floor a little, but I don't think that's visible upstairs. If I put a speedometer on here, there we go, we're getting 32 RPM out of that, which is what we want. I can then take my dirt and cover up my hole I just dug. There we go. I think I'll probably extend this dirt to cover that over, but let's sleep and we can crack on with building the obsidian machine to make the plates. There's a lot that goes into making this, so I'm going to grab all of this. I can fit everything in my inventory, that's nice. I need to build this a little in reverse just to make sure we get our placement correct. So the next wall for this will be here. Yeah, will be that block, so we leave a gap and go 3 and 2 there. And another pipe there. Now, if we look at the recipe again for the sturdy sheets, it's press 1, press 2, and it's got to go around 5 times. Now, you could build this with just 10 presses in a row, but I'm going to build it for size constraints. I'm just going to build it looping. So we need to get onto that. So the way I'm going to do this is, have I not got any? Yes, I do. I'm going to place the first shaft here, and then it's going to be 2, 3, 4 shaft there. I'm going to place a barrel. This barrel is going to take off this back belt, so shift click it, and it's going to place it onto this belt that runs this way. So we can just click that. And that's going to go the same as before through another barrel. So that's going to take off that belt and place it onto that belt. With the 2 presses, that's going to go somewhere. Oh, one thing we need to add actually is trapdoor. We need to make sure that no matter how full this gets, nothing ever runs off the end of this belt. So we're going to put a trapdoor there. The presses are going to go on the back belt, so they're going to go here. But we need that rotated, so where's my wrench? There we go. And the next one will go there. Which is perfect. So the items will come out of that barrel, go round, press, come back round. And we can then grab... we can just use these blocks. So 1, 2, 3. So I can place 1, 2, and 3. Grab that back on there. So this will be for our obsidian plates and gravel when it's all set up. What we're placing these, now we've got the front set up, I'm also going to add the drill, which I can hop up here, and that's going to go next to these 2 presses. That will mine the obsidian block. It's going to be pretty slow, but it should be fast enough. Now we need to get an input from this drill down to this funnel, so I'm going to grab a depot and my hoppers, and I've got the millstone already. So if I place a depot, anything that ends up on that depot will end up in this barrel and down the belt. So I'm going to add a hopper and a millstone and another hopper. So this will mine the obsidian block that forms up and go into the millstone, which will get ground, and the output will end up here. While we're up here, I'm going to grab a pump and we're going to handily place that right next to this millstone so they can get powered together. I need a temporary block, which I'm just going to use the dripstone, and place a stair up here and a trapdoor on the side. I can get there. There we go. This will be waterlogged, so when the lava gets pumped into this block, it gets turned into an obsidian block. Now we have to get a bit funky with the pipe work to get the obsidian there, but I see the sun's going down, so I'm going to quickly go sleep and we'll get back to that in the morning. So it's morning again and we can carry on working with this. So if I grab my pipe, we need the obsidian to get pumped where that dripstone block is. But if I simply put the pipe on here, it won't go in. So if I break this block and this one, the pipe goes in the right direction there, but as soon as I place it on top of the pump, it changes. So we need to run the pipe out here, and if I break this block, that gets that piece of pipe pointing in the right direction, but again I can run it to the pump, but then it changes. So the way around this, if I grab my wrench and you right click on the pipe, it changes it to a glass fluid pipe. This has the advantage you can see what's in it, but it also won't connect to regular pipe. So we can duct the lava in the right direction there, which is nice. I need to then break that block, which will probably go through, and where's it ended up? Oh, it's probably in the millstone. There we go. That's the majority of this built now, so we just need to add the cauldrons, the dripstone, and I'm going to need some temporary blocks. So let me go grab some of them. So with the cauldrons, we're going to place a cauldron on every piece of pipe here, which should be 11. We then need to place dripstone above all the cauldrons. And finally pointed dripstone on the bottom of all these blocks. Do I have? I do. Fair. I think I'll just should be able to get up there anyway. We're going to need lava on top of these. So in create fashion, I'm going to use more trapdoors to hold that in. That should be all of them. Now I've only got 4 buckets of lava on me, but we can easily get more. But we need to make sure that all 11 are source blocks. So that's not what I wanted to place there. So I'm going to place these 4 for now. But I will have to grab source blocks for the rest. I can't place the water on the stair because it will just run out everywhere at the moment. So I think we need to focus on power first. So I'm going to grab a couple of gearboxes and turn them into vertical. The first one is going to go here with a small gear on the top of that. I can then place a shaft. That's my vertical. I can place another vertical and a shaft and a shaft. And I'm going to need a couple more vertical gearboxes. So another vertical gearbox there. And another one there. And then I can simply run cog and a cog. Oh, I realised I've turned around my the presses earlier and I didn't need to. Let's grab them and place 2 more cogs. That should be everything powered now except these belts. So that's everything up there powered. The only thing we need left powered is these belts. So I'm going to grab a vertical gearbox here. I'm going to put another small cog, another vertical gearbox, and just a shaft between. The last one we need to do is power this back belt. That needs to go the opposite direction. So the easy way to do this is shaft and small gear, small gear. Because that will mean the belts will always run in opposite directions. And I created basins. Not cauldrons. So, yep, I'm going to have to go correct that. Let me go quickly grab 11 cauldrons and we'll finish it off. So I'm back with my 11 cauldrons, which need to go exactly as they were before, which was on every piece of pipe. And there we go. That should be everything powered. I think so. The last thing to do is drop under the floor and hook up this gearbox. Now handily we've got the shaft just here. So I'm going to run a shaft. I'm going to need 2 gearboxes. A vertical and a normal. And a shaft. And let's hope that's rotating the right way. That is. That's great. Let's check the pump. The pump is also going the right way, so let's just put the piece of floor back. And we are done. The only thing we need to do is wait for it to actually process some things, so we can set the items in the crude storage. And once it has, we can then lock it so it remembers those. Now I know I've got some gravel, so I'll set that one right now. All you need to do for these is set the item in there, lock it, and again configure the slot, and we'll configure the rear as an input. And then where's my andesite funnels? Should be able to get on the back, and andesite funnel on the back. There we go. Let me eat. I'm just going to AFK this till we've got enough items. Oh, actually, I need to finish filling up the lava at the top, so I'm going to finish that and AFK till it's processed a couple of items and we've got the plate and obsidian, and we'll come back then. So I'm back with all my lava, and I realised when building it, I forgot to put the bucket in, so it's much harder to jump up, but I'm going to grab... you can see it's actually placed the lava there. So I'm going to click on the stairs with the water bucket, and there we go. We've got a block of obsidian. I just need to get up to the top to place all the others, and I think I should be able to jump up here. Careful not to fall in. So I place those 4, so I can place that one, that one, that one, that one, that one, and that one, and lastly the one in the middle. There we go. All nice source blocks of lava. That'll speed up our lava production. Now, as I said, it's very slow at mining that block of obsidian. We'll eventually get there. So it just broke the obsidian. It's getting milled now. Actually, for the quest, I'm going to break this. Just... oh. Was I too slow with that? Oh, how many do we need for the quest? Oh, I just need 4 obsidian. Okay. So I need to wait until we've got 4, and then I'll put the funnel back on. We should be able to see how it works then. So this is the 4th one, and that will complete the challenge and give us 6 blocks of obsidian. Which is nice, because it means we can set the filter here, lock, and again set the rear as an input. And then just hop up and place the funnel on the back. The last one we're going to need is the sturdy plate. So the easy way to do this is put the obsidian in that hopper underneath the mill and shift click a funnel on the back. That'll pick it up and it'll send it round and it will get pressed. Now, from the quest it takes 10 presses and it's only going 2 each time. So you can see it just comes round. And I'm actually going to, while I'm here, place another trapdoor on the end. This shouldn't ever get full, but just in case it ever does, it will stop the items popping off the end of the belt and then despawning. And let's look at the quest. How many? We only need 1 sturdy sheet to complete that quest, so it shouldn't take too long. I'm going to sit here and watch this just so I can set the filter on this last crude storage, and after that, everything should happen automatically. So our first sturdy sheet's been made. I actually missed it, and it's going through the route again. So I'm just going to grab that off the belt next time it comes around. There we go. I can place this in here again, set lock and set the auto input. And lastly, funnel on the back. That should now pick up. I think I saw another one going around. Yep, there we go. That got picked up. We now got 2. This will just continue to automatically produce as we're producing infinite lava that will just infinitely get pumped, drilled, milled, and then pressed. What I'm going to do is, between episodes as well, I upgraded to the newest version, which removed Zero's map and added journey map. So what I'm going to do is actually go into my inventory, and I've already got a team. I'm going to go to chunks, and I'm going to claim this whole new factory. And I'm going to chunk load the whole factory as well. All that means is no matter where I am in the world, this should continue running. Now, I don't think I'll be going that far, but it does mean this should run. It's not the fastest, but running 24/7 when I'm online is plenty. That chest is now empty. So let's grab my axe. While we're here, I'm going to grab all this from under here as well. We will be using it again to build the other half of the factory, which I think I'll just do between episodes. Because it's going to require some probable resource gathering as well, and crafting of bricks and stairs. Now we've got our sturdy sheets up and running, we can go back to our quests, and we've got to make the armor and the train casing, but we don't need trains or the armor just yet. So if we go to chapter 2, the next step is to get into copper casings and spouts and electron tubes, and I think we can get to a reasonably automated electron tube where we just have to put the raw ingredients in and it'll just output that today. So let's crack on. So the copper casing is just an andesite casing, rubber and copper sheet. We're going to have to go back to original base for that. I know from the tree farm we took down, we've got 3 deployers. So I can just take down the press from there. And find my 3 deployers. There we are. We only need 2 of them. That's definitely not how I wanted to place that. All that. Where's my wrench? There we go. So it was andesite casing. Which, do we have any andesite alloy over here? Nope. How much clay do we have? Yep. At some point we'll be making a better way to make andesite alloy. It's still this recipe, but only being able to do a stack at a time is not the best. So let's grab some wood. We don't need that many. Let's go with 16. Don't know why that was off, but so what do we need? Just this, and we're gonna need. We only need to make 1, but if we need to make spouts, that takes 1. So let's make a handful, I suppose. So, have we got any rubber? We do not. Unless it's in here. Oh, it is. That's great. It also means we can make some more belts, because I'm pretty low on them too. $10 should do. So what was these? You've got to go 3 times, so it's going to take 3 rubber and 3 copper sheet to make 1. Let's make 3. Is my copper sheet in here? It is. Oh, we had rubber already. Oh well. Like everything in this pack, this will get automated as well, making casings. I don't know if we'll fully automate it or just get to the stage of dropping wood and andesite in and it will make the rest for us, but either way would be grand. Oh, we had loads of andesite alloy over there. I forgot to put it in my... Oh well. With these, we can just right click. Oh, didn't mean to put it in the filter. Just click it on the face. There we go. And for this, we'll just have to manually go around. And finally, this should give us the copper casings. There we go. That completes that. We're going to need a spout, so we need a piece of dried kelp, which I know we have, because it's there. That was a spout, wasn't it? Spout. Oh, it's on top. There we go. Do we get? We don't get anything for that. So we've got the bucket of rose gold here. That's a tricky one to complete, but we're actually going to complete this backwards. I'm going to set up the electron tube, because to make the electron tube we need rose gold. So I don't see the point of making rose gold in a system separately and then building a system to make rose gold to make electron tube. So we're actually going to just straight work on the electron tube and complete those together. So if we look at an electron tube, it's rose gold over polished quartz. Now polished quartz is easy, that's rose quartz with sandpaper. I think we've made some before for the deployers, and that's just nether quartz and redstone, which we've got a decent chunk of redstone, not a huge amount, but so a stack of redstone makes 8, so we can make say probably 16, so we've got some redstone left in reserve. Oh. And rose gold is, we can't melt it, so we've got to mix it. Now we've got no way to heat the mixer, so we've got to pump in molten gold and molten copper, which means we're going to have to get 2 smelteries, one to melt gold, one to melt copper, and then put them in a mixing bowl. Much like we do over here. But I'm going to gather all that stuff, and I'm going to do this off camera. It's just more mixers, I think. I don't know if we've got any mixers. I know we've got the basin there, but we just need the basin, some tanks, some mixers, the belts. Now we're going to need a seared faucet, the pipes. Stuff you've seen me make before, so I'm just going to skip through that and make it and come back when we're ready to build it. So I'm back with an inventory full of things, and I think we've got everything we need. As said before the cut, it's mostly things. The only thing I think I haven't gone over making is this smart fluid pipe, which is just a filterable pipe. So I've got all the stuff to make it. There's nothing particularly hard. The fluid valve is just pipe and an iron sheet. The redstone comparator and observer are the vanilla recipes. You also need to make a filter, which is just iron nuggets and wool. So let's quickly make that, and I think that's the final piece. And the filter, for some reason, doesn't go in automatically, so we can just place that manually. And that completes that quest. And we can then crack on and make after we sleep. I'm going to build this next to our machine here. So the easy way to get started is with the 2 tinker smelteries. So I'm going to place the first one here. Then 3 blocks over, place this one here. What we can then do is... Oh, I don't have any pumps. I need a couple of pumps. I need 3 pumps to be precise. But actually I think I can make them, can't I? Yeah, 1, 2, 3. We're going to need a pump on this side, pump on that side. The basin goes in the middle. And the mixer goes on top of the basin. This is the basic setup. I mean, the pumps are going the wrong way, but we'll get the power in first. So this will melt the gold, this side will melt the copper, and they'll get pumped into and mixed. We then need to pump out the liquid, so I need to get actually under here. I'm going to place the filtered pipe there. I really need an easy way to get back up to the top. As this will allow us to only filter out the rose gold. Now I made an extra filter, and what's quite useful with these is if I search rose gold, you don't need the item, you can. There should be a bucket of rose gold. What do you need for the quest? Molten rose gold bucket. Oh, don't know. Blind apparently. You can just drag out of REI straight into here, and it's a allow list, and just tick. Yep. We can then apply that filter there. I'm going to add a couple of chutes, which I'm sure I picked up. I have a speedometer. I don't really want the speedometer. No, it doesn't look like I picked the chutes up. There's always something you forget. I really need to crack on and make the backpack, just so I can carry all my Create stuff around with me at the same time. You can go back in there and give me my chutes. Hopefully that's the only thing I've forgotten. Shoot on top of there. Shoot on top of there. And I know what I forgot. Some blocks to get around on. Awesome. Oh, actually, I've got scaffolding in here. That'll do. Then we can then put a barrel on the top of both. Barrel on there, and a barrel on there. While we're here, I'm also got... It's the only problem with scaffolding. Have I got a solid block? I'm going to place a barrel on the top of that one, and to the right of that one. So this will be our input barrel for copper, and in gold, we're going to input the raw materials as well, but we'll get to that in a second. We need our shafts and deployers. Actually, these. Let's sort this inventory out. We only need that. Give me everything else. Don't need chutes, don't need gearboxes. We'll need a deployer. Don't think we need the pipe at the moment. We'll need that. We're going to put a belt in from here to here with the spout on the belt here. This is where our rose gold will ultimately end up, but we've got to build a few other things before then. And for that, I actually need to take out the floor here and here. So I'm going to put another barrel there, and that will be our output. We're going to put a depot in the floor, grab one of our hoppers, and put into there, and then put the chute on there. That will take anything off the belt, into the hopper, onto the depot, and into the chest. It's not the most elegant way to do this, but ultimately when it comes to power, The problem is you need to get into these pumps. So, yeah, this belt needs to be one removed. And that seemed the easiest way to get the items over. Again, trapdoor on the end, just so I don't think this is ever going to get full. How much redstone it takes, but it's good to just put it there for insurance purposes. We then need our shafts again, and we need one on that belt, and one there. There's a very short belt of just 2. Give me my scaffolding to get up there. That's way too much scaffolding, but where's my funnel? There we are. Let's see for looking. We're going to place one on the back of this barrel, which will take out. And we need our... Oh, we need to build another belt. This belt will go one lower, so this will go here. I can place it there. The easier way would have been just rotate that with a wrench, but I like doing things the hard way, so belt there. And we take that off there. Then we need our deployer, which I've got here. That goes on that belt. We then can take another andesite funnel and click that on there. That will input off this belt into the deployer. And again, in time-honored fashion, we're going to put a trapdoor on the end of this belt. This will be our sandpaper input, which we want in the deployer. And in here, we'll put the redstone, what's it called? The rose quartz. And the deployer will then polish it. So the rose quartz will come out of that chest. So we need a deployer funnel on there. Now we need to get from this belt down to this one. Again, trapdoor. So the question is, how do we get down from this belt to this belt? And we can actually use a... we just need a block. Place under here. We can place a funnel on the side. That's placed the wrong way. We need it to be an output funnel. Then what we can actually do is just put a hopper into the back of it. Oh, the hopper will suck off the belt and the funnel will just take it straight out of there. That'll drop it underneath, and yep. The last thing we need to do is connect up this pipe to the spout. So I'm actually going to knock a hole in the floor. And where's my pipe? I actually need to come out one further. And I just saw the sun, so let's go sleep and we'll finish that off in a second. We need to get back up the top, so let's climb up here. And we need our tanks. Which, let's go up and up again. This will just give us a nice door, as the spout can only hold 1 bucket's worth. So we can mount, if we wanted, say, a stack of gold or stack of copper to give us a huge store of, which is just slightly more coal efficient. And then, like we did with our andesite alloy production, we're just going to put a seared faucet straight on the tank. And we're going to have to give that tank some power. The seared force, it's a redstone signal. I just realised we've got a piece of wood on there. Gonna have to give it a redstone signal, so I'm just gonna put a block of andesite there with a lever on. That's not a lever. With a lever on it. Gonna leave the lever off for now, but need to make sure we turn it on afterwards. So we've come to the stage of getting power into all of this. Give me my cogs. We're gonna need the belts. I think that's everything. Why have I got a pump left over? Oh, I know why we've got a pump left over. So actually, underneath, we've got no pump to pump the rose gold. So I need to break this piece of pipe. Let's go grab that actually. And place a pump in here. Now we are good to go with powering it up. I'm going to grab my gearboxes, just turn half of them into vertical ones. That's the easy way. First things first, we're going to need a gear on there and a gear on there. Now for space, we can actually just put a shaft straight through the middle. The mixer doesn't care. It will just mix even though that shaft goes through the middle. We can then put a vertical gearbox on there. And put a gear there and a gear there. Put a vertical gearbox there. And just a regular gearbox there. That will power the deployer. For this pump underneath, I'm going to click an extra shaft on that belt. And we can then just put one there. And then put a vertical gearbox here. A shaft. And a vertical gearbox on there. Next we need to add a shaft to here. A shaft and another shaft. And we can connect that via a belt. That'll link those two conveyor belts together. And with that, I think we are done on the power. So we can bring in power, and it should, I believe, go around everywhere. So let's pop another hole in the floor. I'm gonna, how shall we do this? I'm just gonna put another gearbox on there. So let's break this and this. There we go. Now we just need to get over from there to here, so the easy way is just connect it with a belt. And now we hope we're going rotating everything the right way. And it is. So that belt's going the right way, those belts are going the right way. So I think we are good. We'll need to check the pumps, but let me just top up my hunger with my wrench. That pump's going the right way, that's going the wrong way, and that's going the right way. So there we go. We can now take our spruce and cover the holes up in the floor. And that should be good. The last thing I actually got is I made some item frames. Oh, we need to move that torch. So let's go make the raw ingredients. And we can put them in the item frames and we should be good to make some rose gold and some electron tubes. Food pick. Torch, hammer. There we go. So we can put most of the, let's just, oh, why have I got so many torches on me? The torch can go in there. So we need, let's go a stack and 8. And we need an extra one to go in the item frame. We also need, let's go with 16 of those. 16 of those, and obviously an extra one for the item frames. And we're also going to need sandpaper, which I don't have a lot of sand. So let's just go mine it over here. So each sandpaper can do, we'll make 8 until we can get to diamond sandpaper. But we can't grind diamonds at the moment, so. And we were making 2 stacks, so we really need 2 pieces of sandpaper, but I'll put extra in. I still have this sandpaper as well. So let's grab our paper. Annoyingly, sandpaper doesn't stack. But that's our rose quartz, our sandpaper, that's all our inputs. The last thing we need is a couple of stacks of coal. Or in this case, charcoal. Put the charcoal in there, charcoal in there. Rose quartz goes in that one. Let's use the broken sandpaper. Sandpaper. Can you not use? Yes, you can. There we go. Sandpaper goes in that one. We should be good. And yep, it's got a hold of it. And then we copper and gold. Copper in that one. Gold in that one. Dump the copper. Dump the gold. And we should be good. It's got molten copper in, molten gold. There we go. It's making the rose gold. The rose gold should be getting pumped into here. Yep. And I realise we don't have a bucket. So let's go grab one of them and that will complete the quest for us. I think I've got some buckets in here. I do. I should be able to just wait till that hits over a bucket and click it out the tank. Unfortunately, you can't click it back into the tank, but we can just click it on the basin and that's fine. Ah, it doesn't go into there. Interesting. I thought you could click a bucket out of there. Oh, looks like it's night drawers. We need to sleep again. Well, I guess I've learned something. You can't just click on the tank with a bucket. I thought you could. There's an easy way around this. If we flick this lever, this should fill up with a bucket of rose gold. Which we still can't click that, but if we drop this on the belt, it should fill the bucket up. And it'll just end up in here. And we can then click the bucket back on there. And the rose gold should get pumped back out. But should get pumped back out. I don't know what. Ah yes, it was just a bit slow. So we can then put our rose quartz in here. And if we climb up here, we can't really see, but they're getting sanded there. They're getting dropped down. And they're getting turned into Electron tubes. So we can grab these, place one in there. And there we go. That's completed both those quests, which is nice. And I think that is a good place to end this episode. We've achieved a lot today building these two machines, and it is only just the start. If you want to play along though, there should be a link in the description to my Google Drive where I've uploaded the schematics for these two machines. I appreciate not everyone gets Create, or you may be new to Create, so I will try and upload schematics for every machine from this point forward that I build. And they just need to go in your Minecraft folder, and there should be one called schematics. Just put them in there and you should be able to use them with the schematic cannon like I did at the start. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll catch you in the next episode.